You're listening to the Geek Blues Podcast, the show that tunes you in and hypes you up on your favorite anime and games. Glad you could make it, Geek Bros and Bluesettes. And now, without further ado, here's Genbu and the Geek Blues crew with today's episode. So sit back and enjoy the ride. You're in good hands. And don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe.
Alright everybody, welcome back to the Geek Blues Podcast. I'm your host Genbu, the show that tunes you and hypes you up. We are back, and tonight with me, I have the host I mentioned earlier in our last show episode, Nick, aka Major. What's going on?
How you doing, man? It's good to be here. Glad to be here.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, we missed you on our last episode, but I was determined to get you in this week to meet the listeners.
I'm glad to get us. Sorry about that. Equipment issue. It is what it is, but I've got it fixed. I'm glad.
Oh yeah, listen. I know how that is. You're all good. So before we get started, I'm gonna let you guys know where to find us. We're at www.geekbluespodcast.com. You can find us on all forms of social media. So check us out on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and of course Facebook. And speaking of Facebook, we have our new Facebook group up, the Geek Blues Anime and Gaming Roundtable. So come on and join us and find out about some nice shit. And also, as far as listening platforms go, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. We're on everything, all right? Every single listening platform. Quite proud of that, actually, Majora.
Oh, yeah. You better watch out. Disney might buy us out at some point and buying out everything.
Because it was because of them, that whole, I don't know if you watched the Netflix shows on the Marvel ones.
Yeah.
Like Luke Cage and
everything that's not the Punisher or Daredevil, I believe, is being canned. I don't know if it's due to poor reception or if it just didn't bring up enough revenue as it was expecting. But yeah, those things are done. They're canned.
I think it's because Disney's doing their own streaming service, is what I heard. Because as far as the actual viewing goes, this year they've been doing pretty good. All the second seasons of, well, actually Daredevil just had their third season, but the second seasons of Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist all did fairly well, and I was actually surprised in terms of Iron Fist because the first season that was horrible, but the second season got a lot of good reactions from it. So I think they're definitely going to put on that new streaming service.
Probably. I mean, they're probably doing exactly how Sony did it, considering they just bought out Funimation, and now many Funimation shows are being taken off Crunchyroll.
True, that's right. Bill, and Dandy, we spoke about that in the last episode too. So I just hope only good things come from that.
I hope so, man.
People out here, these corporations out here making moves. Hopefully they're thinking about, the viewers.
Hey, I mean, without the viewers, they're making no money, so, they kind of have to at that point. It's not like other game companies like EA where they can do anything and they still get money from it.
Very true. Very true. So, as I stated earlier, good to have you on the show. We're going to get into some good stuff tonight, everybody. Now, tonight is a bit of a bonus / introduction episode. Introduction because Major is joining us for the first time, and bonus because it's Halloween. We're doing this recording on Halloween, and I wanted to do a special tribute towards the horrors of anime and even some gaming. So it's going to be fun tonight, and I'm looking forward to it. So that being said, I got some news I want to bring out, so let's get into the news section. Okay, so the first thing I got on today's news. Now, director Andy Muschietti. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Andy Muschietti. It's Italian, obviously, but anyway, that's besides the point. So, Andy Muschietti. He was the director for the remake of It that came out last year. So it turns out that Warner Bros. Has put him in charge of making a live-action at Hollywood adaptation to Attack on Titan.
Really?
Yeah, yep.
Well, I mean, it can't be worse than Dragon Ball Evolution or the Avatar. Considering that
That's what
Hollywood
I'm
can make
hoping.
great things like Pacific Rim, which, I really wish they'd make a G Gundam movie with those people, because that was phenomenal.
Yes, I
if
remember
they
the first
use
time.
similar tactics, I think that it would be, A-okay. So long as they, get the right casting. Love of God. Cough, cough, Death Note, Netflix.
Right. we will not speak of such things on.
It's
No,
sad. It's sad when the highlight of the movie is a character that barely gets any screen time, aka Willem Dafoe as Ryuk. Like, it's
Yes. Preach. I'll tell you, I'm I remember the first time we ever spoke. You mentioned that you would like to see a live action of Gene Gundam, and once I heard you say that, I was like, "Yo, this guy's amazing. That's a great idea."
yeah, it's like
Gene Gundam is my favorite Gundam out of all of them.
I'm a young guy, and when I was a kid, I used to have the action figures. I used to watch it, didn't know what the hell it was. I still got to catch up on the rest of them because I unfortunately haven't been able to watch all of them. But from my memory, my recollection of everything, I think that would be pretty cool. Seeing like a Gurren Lagann or a Evangelion or a G Gundam movie, with the same I would say studio maybe that made Pacific Rim, or have the animators at the very least, because those movies look pretty damn good.
Yeah, they do. And the thing about that is, if such a movie is ever to be made, I think it has to be done by America, because I've noticed, I'm sure many people have too, and a lot of the live action anime adaptations that Japan does, the budget is usually not that extensive.
Oh yeah,
but
it's,
I know
it's not as I guess you could say expensive as the U.S. would spend on it. Like,
yeah, because we spend a whole bunch of them on our movies.
Oh yeah. Like the thing I could see the most, which bugs me, is that the U.S. puts more money towards special effects, not so much towards the writing. As in Japan, they put a lot more towards the writing, just not as much special effects. So like the special effects aren't too bad. Like if you watch the the hell's it called Tokyo Ghoul movies, like they're not bad. They're pretty good.
Yeah, the Tokyo Ghoul one was pretty good.
Yeah, like I don't know. I like the writing in that. I feel like if America made it, it would not be as good storytelling, but I think the graphics would be very good.
Yeah, well, Americans are all we care about is explosions, and well, not me, but since I'm an American, I'm speaking for.
What's the guy's name? We're not Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. So I do look forward to seeing. I'm actually looking forward to seeing an American-made Attack on Titan, because the Japanese one, no offense, Japan, but you guys failed at that one. That was bad. That looked like.
I heard bad things about it. I haven't watched it, but I did hear bad things about it, and I usually I usually like to take a look for myself, but I wouldn't be surprised, especially if diehard fans are saying, "Wow, this is pretty damn garbage," and I'm a little more obligated to believe them.
Yeah, don't watch it. Trust me, that's like that. That was I wasted like 10 minutes. I turned that off after like 10 minutes. I was like, all right, what's next? So we'll see. I'm looking forward to seeing a live action one from this guy because it was pretty good. The remake, I like both of them. And
yeah,
that's actually surprising coming from me, because I usually don't really dig into the horror movies. But I did watch the remake of it, and when I was a kid, I saw most of the original.
I think that they did
and I enjoyed
more
it.
than exceptionally well. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. There are a few things in there that I was like, okay, it's a bit damn weird, but but for the most part, I think it was spectacular. Like I was not expecting to see that little boy's arm ripped off and him trying to crawl away.
Yeah.
Like I was like, damn, they really went the whole 9 miles.
They upped the ante in that. That definitely caught me off guard.
Blah blah gay sex, blah blah Congress. You got to be interesting.
The anime Goblin Slayer is actually already being scheduled for a DVD release by Sony.
Oh, really?
Already, yeah.
Damn, that was fast.
Yeah, and and I enjoyed talking about it in our last episode with Bill and Danny, because that was a lot of controversy behind that anime.
Oh, really? Is it because of the
Yeah.
how could I even phrase this, man?
the sexual assaults and
I was just gonna say, I mean, yeah, that's the best way to put it. I was gonna say something a little more.
what were you gonna say? Let me hear it.
When I first watched it, I was like, oh, well, they're definitely stabbing that boy to death. All right, then, cool. Bye, bye, guy. Oh,
Yeah, they jumped
ganged up on the girl. They're gonna stab her too. Oh no, they ripped off her clothes. What are they? Oh, that's what they're doing. Jesus Christ!
It was very unexpected. Very unexpected.
Yeah, it was. It was like, well, that was
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, it did. Like, they didn't even say it in the show. They just called them playthings. Like, yo, that was unsolicited. That thing was.
It was brutal.
Yeah, it was.
And,
Non-consensual plays.
Yeah. And now I see why Crunchyroll put that disclaimer up before I watched that.
I thought that it was just gonna be a fun little monster slaying with some fan service women in there, but no, they fan service other type of people.
Yeah, yes they do. Those goblins weren't playing around.
No, they were not.
They said we need some more offspring.
Neither is that Goblin Slayer. Damn, burning them alive like nothing.
I know that was my favorite part of the first episode. He was going in. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be looking forward to that DVD release. I still got a lot to watch for Goblin Slayer, but I'm looking forward to seeing what else it has to offer me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And our last news for tonight is actually, and it's occurred in Japan. So 7 people were arrested in Japan for in regards to a cheating app involved in the Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle mobile game.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so
people are cheating in that? Of all things, that?
Yep. It's
like,
amazing.
It's an alright mobile game. Like, if I had to choose a mobile game to play, I'd be playing that one. Because, I mean, I'll put it this way. I had fun with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, but it wasn't all that great on the phone, you know. You have to buy these cards. Oh, great, I already have this card. Oh, great, I don't want this card. Well, I can't build my deck with this. Why am I only about 3 slots and not 5 slots? Mm-hmm. Yada, yada, yada. Dokkan was pretty fun. You know, it had a pretty interesting story and everything. But really cheating in that?
Yeah, what they were doing was they were selling the app, this proxy service for the app. And pretty much this cheat allowed people to buy in-app purchases for free. So you were getting these things for free. And this was all occurring in the Gifu prefecture of Japan. And people aren't playing. I mean, Japan's not playing around with this apparently because they arrested several people from the ages of 17 to 44 years old.
44? That man needs a life. Holy crap.
Yo. And so these 7 people were all arrested for different things in regards to this cheating app. They were arrested for one was arrested for buying the app, the cheating app. One was arrested for selling it. One guy was arrested for selling info on how to find it. Another guy, 2 people were arrested for selling information on where to find it, or they're like selling info on and providing. And no, one dude was arrested for a proxy service. Well, anyway, so that's why they all got arrested, and I guess Japan doesn't play around when it comes to these games and cheating, because in the last episode we told a news story where this guy was tracked down and arrested for selling those fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards in Japan. So
are you serious?
Yeah, so Japan's not playing around with this kind of stuff.
Whew, they would have loved my cousin about 10 years ago. Oh my god, you could go down to the Pennsauken Mart, you could buy a pack Yu-Gi-Oh cards for $1, had like 50 Pokemon cards, 50 cards in there.
Yeah.
90% of them are counterfeit, 90% of them are garbage, they're crap, they're fake. Garbage. And I sold every one of them to my cousin.
Nice.
I ain't no fool.
So that's pretty much it for our news segment. There was some interesting news.
And that's the way the news goes.
So now it's time to get into I mean, oh, you like that, right? That was good,
Yeah,
right?
that was good. That was a good one.
Thank you. So now, everyone, it's time to get into the main segment of our show, the horrors, the best horrors of anime and even some gaming. Had to throw a little Michael Jackson in there as a
Had me
tribute.
dancing a little bit too. I'll tell you what.
So over the years, you know, many anime has been watched by me and yourself. I gotta say that I don't usually get scared by anime, but I do get impressed by the horror genre of anime quite a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I definitely wanted to do a little tribute to the genre, especially for Halloween tonight. So would you like to do the honors?
Folks.
Yes, happy Halloween, everybody. Hope you're being safe. I already did my Halloween parties, the weekend already, last weekend, so I'm good.
Oh, nice. I just went
Yeah.
out with a little bit of my girlfriend's family, dressed up as a cowboy. Thank you, Red Dead Redemption. No, I'm talking a little southern every now and then. Had myself a little bit of I had a button-down gray shirt with a black vest on it. I had a nice little holster with a revolver on and everything else.
Nice.
I was looking hella fly.
Very nice, very nice. Respect. So, I gotta ask. I'm gonna let you do the honors first, as far as your first choice, because we're gonna be going through a couple choices of our own. And so, what would you consider a good horror monster / show anime wise?
You know, it's a bit hard to say because when you, what's the best way to put this? I think that it really comes from perspective. Because if you look at a show like, for example, Naruto, you don't think of it as a horrifying thing. You got people who for thousands of years are shooting fire out of their mouths and blowing water from the ground like the damn Avatar. But when you look at it from the regular people's perspective, because as you know in the show, not everybody has chakra use. You have civilians who do civilian work. Imagining them seeing the Nine Tails come after the village must have been pure hell for them. For them, that was literally the devil itself. Because, from their perspective, they're just people. Like you and me. They ain't got no powers. They don't even have guns. They have knives, swords. Like, hell, for all that, I'm gone, dude. I'm either digging like a hole 6 feet under and dropping myself in there.
True, the Nine-Tailed Fox was not a joke.
Hell no.
I gotta say, one of mine. Now, for those people who watched Berserk, actually, I have to say, the God Hand is probably one that I found to be one of the most terrifying. And the God Hand is actually a squad of these evil, like, devils. They appeared in the third movie of Berserk when the character Griffith, he chose to sacrifice his friends in order to regain, in order to gain some power. And in doing so, they were all transported to pretty much hell. And in this hell, we see these five, I think it's about five of them. I can't remember. It's 5 or 4. These 5 characters who look freakishly horrific.
Oh yeah, man. They got like skeleton wings over here, looking like a falcon version of like RoboCop. And you got this one dude with a big ass brain.
Yeah,
it's terrifying.
Yeah, that was when I first watched that Berserk, the 3 movies, and I saw those characters and they were in that hell. I was like, yo, this is kind of creepy. Like, and on top of that, all those creatures in there too. Mm. And to add to that slaughtering that they went through was pretty that was pretty bad. Like
pretty damn good.
Yeah. Like they got their shit pushed in. Like it was pretty terrifying. I was like, yo, I would not want to find myself in this situation. Dude, that's definitely one of my top ones right there. One of them. I got a few more, but I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me on that too.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Do you remember an anime came on? It used to come on Adult Swim late at night. It was It was called Paranoia Agent. Does that sound familiar to you?
Damn, I think so. I was a child.
Got you. So, so you might not be familiar with Paranoia Agent then, because that was a show that brought a lot of chills to a lot of different people. So, Paranoia Agent, it was created by its director. His name is Satoshi Kon,
Okay.
and very very talented man. Very fucked up teeth, but very talented man. And no offense, Satoshi Kon. All right, but Paranoia Agent was actually his first time doing like a psychological thriller / horror anime, because he had a few quite a few good ones prior to that. But one of the creepiest thing about this anime was that there is this kid who went by the name Little Slugger, and he had a crooked bat and some golden rollerblades, and he would go around the town beating people to death.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that was
Jesus Christ.
So I remember when I first saw that, and when I was younger, I think I first came across that when I was like in 7th grade, 8th grade. I think I was like maybe 13, 14, and it was late at night. Tsunami. I was watching some anime and everything, and I was watching that. That came on. I was like, "What is this?" And this kid started beating people to death, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I turned that off.
Billy.
So Paranoia Agent definitely gets a big star in my book for being, especially for being a psychological thriller.
I'm just giving that creepy vibe real soon. Then,
yeah, it's good.
That sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, that's an oldie but a goodie. Like definitely. When I got older, I actually watched it, and I was still creeped out.
Hell, I would too. A little boy rolling around golden rollerblades. I don't know.
Yeah, and that
I'm
bat.
never going to a skating ring again.
That crooked bat with that blood stain on it. Yeah, he would just roll up on you. You'd be walking from the grocery store late at night, which I don't know why people are walking late at night from the grocery store anyway. But anyway, so you'd be walking to your house from the grocery store like 11 p.m. at night, and you just hear like that rollerblade sound, and you turn around, and that bat is going across your jaw.
Well, GG.
So it's pretty much a wrap.
Damn, Chips Ahoy! I knew you weren't worth it.
Yeah, right. So, tell me what you think. Now, I recently found out a lot of people consider Attack on Titan to be a horror, which I kind of do too.
That's kind of right up my alley. What I was saying earlier. When you take into the perspective of the people that are in the town that aren't the scouts, the fighters, for them, they are completely defenseless. They try to hide inside their homes. It gets broken into. They're giants. They're going to smash through it like a damn paper town, To them, that is... It's unbeatable. There's nothing they can do. They can only hope that some teenager on a freaking web-slinging metal slate comes in with a razor blade the size of a damn sword, comes over and slices the guy's head off. I would consider it instantly a horror because of that fact alone. And even the scouts themselves, half of them piss themselves. They're terrified.
I was about to mention that. Yeah, because you got these
giant ass cannibals coming over here, just trying to eat you and nothing else, and you have no idea what this is about. Meanwhile, people on the mainland are like, "Oh man, this is great!" Like to them, it's basically a damn game show.
Exactly. Yeah. I think one of the creepiest things about the Titans is sometimes when they be running at you, you got those certain ones that have that weird run.
Yeah.
And that expression.
The best way I can classify this show is like this is basically a Japanese show version of A Cabin in the Woods. You got these jackasses releasing these monsters on these people in this town as an experiment, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Yeah, but I'm saying, when you see these new giants eating people alive, and the expressions that they have, they'll have different facial expressions, and they're just and they're and different ways of running and walking, and eating you. It's definitely. I was given the creep factor from the first episode.
Hell yeah, man! It's like looking at the Chainsaw Massacre coming at you naked. You don't want that.
In fact, one of my favorite moments, I should call it my favorite, I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna fuck it, was when Aaron got eaten in episode 5, season 1, and Armin screamed. He screamed that. Do you remember Armin scream? The way he screamed. Yo, his scream was actually one of the most popular ringtones when that season first came out.
Jesus Christ! Could you imagine sitting on a train late at night? You just hear that? Yeah. Every drunk person on that train would jump up sober.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had that for my ringtone. I was making people jump with. I was one of those assholes. That for my ringtone.
Like my reaction to hearing that ringtone would equate to the same as accidentally shooting a witch in Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's good. So
I was like, I'm out. I'm done. Goodbye.
So another one I definitely got to bring up is one of my personal favorites, especially manga wise. I would have to say, I'm pretty sure you can agree with me on this one. Is Tokyo Ghoul. Mm-hmm. If I'm wrong, feel free to disagree.
Agree to disagree.
Oh, you think the ghouls aren't that scary?
Oh no, I was saying for other people that might disagree.
I got you.
No, those ghouls are terrifying.
You know, there is something. I think one of the worst things about I would say a horror aspect is not knowing when that entity is right in front of you. And I say that because ghouls look like human beings, you know.
Yep.
So you don't know if this person that you're walking with from a party is a ghoul, and then when they do, you do, yeah, like when Kaneki got when I first watched Tokyo Ghoul, and that first time Rize was hacking him up, I was like, yo, I put myself in Kaneki's shoes definitely at that moment, because he was like, oh, this girl's so beautiful, she's so hot. And he got a date with her and everything, and then next thing you know,
so what do you say, Kaneki? Will you let me have my fun?
No way! No way! No way! No way! No way! No way!
Silly.
can you imagine that happening to you? Can you imagine the sheer horror of the woman of your dreams hacking you to pieces with some tentacle claws? I feel sorry for that dude for my boy Kaneki.
I mean, hey, at that point, you're already as good as dead. Fuck it.
Yeah, he's lucky the magical steel beams fell on her ass.
Fucking steel beam ex machina over here.
You know, because I was like, when I first saw this episode, I was like, okay, this guy can't be the main character because he's about to die. So, but that was some. I was like, yo, this is some scary shit right here. Him getting hacked to pieces and all that blood and everything, and she was bathing in the blood. But that's just one aspect of. I'm sorry, not one scenario of Tokyo Ghoul that shows you that.
It's just like True Blood when it was on TV. It's like, you don't know who the hell's a vampire. You don't know what the hell's gonna happen.
See, I never watched True Blood.
Oh, really? Basically, it's just as vampires living with humans, and they make a drink. I forgot what the hell it was called, but it was a drink that was like substituting for blood that they would drink.
Yeah, see, I'm more of a. I've always been more of a Vampire Diaries fan, and I hope no one judges me for that. Because I'm like, hey, I announced to people. I announced to people. Yeah, and guess what? You judging me? Then you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about your opinions. All right. You know. In fact, if you're judging me right now, here's what you can do with your opinions.
I'm gonna need you to put them way up inside your butthole.
All right. That's what y'all can do with that. If you're gonna judge me for liking my Vampire Diaries, all right. I was upset when it ended after 8 seasons. I wanted more, but it's all right. I'm digressing. I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway.
I think a good horror one to bring up, just because the sheer terror of it was I don't watch much of it, but this I did see quite a few times. It was in Blood Sea when they massacred a town.
Oh, the bunnies.
Yeah.
Those bunny monsters. Yo. You're right. That's a good one. Yo, they were ripping everybody to shreds.
Twisting off their heads, drinking their insides like it was just like one of those little cheap pops you get at the corner store.
Yeah. You know what? Me and me and our previous host, Kingdom Hearts, he introduced me to that anime. And when I first watched it, I was like, "Yo, this is some really that whole anime is bloody.
Oh,
Like
I'm
they
sure.
don't pull any corners with that. And those bunnies at the end, that was the icing. That was no, not even. Those were the candles on the cake. Not even the icing. Yo, listeners, if you have not seen Blood Sea, check it out. And if you like that blood and that gore, and if you want to see some scary monsters, check out Blood Sea because they definitely go above
They
and
do
beyond
not
with
pull
that.
punches, man.
No, they don't.
I
Blood
was
Sea,
not
I'm
prepared
glad.
when I saw that.
I'm actually pretty. I'm so glad you mentioned those bunnies too. Those bunnies creeped me the hell out. And they were like hopping on you too. Like you'd be running.
Yeah.
Oh, they just land on you.
Happy Easter, boy.
Yeah, pretty much. They were not playing around with that, yo. Oh man, that was a good one. If I'm gonna, I have another one. I don't know how many people have seen this actual anime. I read a lot of the manga, and I actually kind of stopped watching the anime because I thought it got kind of racist at some point. I realized, okay, it's kind of, and I'm not even gonna explain why I thought it was racist, but I will name the anime because we're not talking about politics. We're talking about, the horrors of anime and everything. There's an anime called Terror for Mars, right? I don't know if you heard of it.
Oh, I
But-
definitely have not.
Yeah, Terror for Mars is an anime that's pretty much about these cockroaches, right? That were sent to Mars. The Earth was trying to make Mars livable, right? Inhabitable. So as a test, they sent a bunch of cockroaches to Mars as a test to see, how long they would last and everything, and to find out what state they'd be in after a certain amount of time. What ended up happening was these cockroaches, they multiplied and they evolved, and they ended up looking like 7 feet tall humanoid cockroach dudes.
Ugh.
All right. And one thing that made these cockroaches so scary is their appearance, their buggy eyes and everything. Another thing that made it scary was that they were strong as shit, And another thing, going off of that, if you want to get some good action mixed with a little bit of horror, definitely check out Terror from Mars and gore. It has action, horror, and gore in it. All right.
You're gonna need a big boot to squash that bug.
Yeah. That's not even gonna save. That's not gonna save nobody from these things. So. When you get a chance, check it out and find out and see what these guys can do. These cockroaches, they move at 300 miles per hour in one step. All right.
Jesus. Yeah, I'm looking at them, though. These things are creepy.
Yeah, and so what happens is these explorers, from the Earth, from different countries, Russia, China. There's teams from Russia, China, America, Japan. They all get together in a big giant, ship, and they all travel there in order to explore and find out what's going on. And let's just say that, what they got waiting for them is a fucking bloodbath. Yeah.
I can sort of see maybe a perspective of why this might look a little racist too.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. Oh yeah, man. A quick Google search of these things, you can.
Yes, see,
there's-
that's why and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go a little. I was gonna do this. I'm gonna go a little tangent real quick. All right, I'm tired of the Japanese making us black people look like shit like that. Okay, Japan, please stop doing that. I'm asking you nicely, as a black man in America, stop portraying black people as these weird-looking African tribe-looking. It's either that or we look like a damn thug. You ever seen High School of the Dead?
Yeah, I know what you're
Yo.
talking about, bro.
Yeah, remember that episode where that dark ass dude was grabbing the chick up and squeezing her titty and everything, and he had the grill and the hat all pulled backwards and shit. Yo, I was like, what the fuck, yo? Why? I was like, Japan, stop doing that.
Yo,
I'm
that
telling you
reminds
right
me.
now.
I'd never see any Hispanic people. What the hell is this about?
Trust me, you probably don't want to. The way Japan is probably gonna mess y'all up too.
I'll probably have a bowl of rice and beans in my hand.
Like, I'm tired of it. So please, if this podcast gets pretty big and a Japanese anime production company hears this, take my advice. All right, it's not appreciated. I don't like it. And in fact, I'm actually going to tribute an episode about that on this podcast sooner or later.
Ooh, sounds
All right,
nice.
so, yeah, I am. I'm just giving y'all a little taste of what the episode's going to be. All right. So stop, Japan. Stop doing it. All right. I could give 5 more characters, but for the sake of tonight's subject, I'm not going to get into all that. I got a little passionate there.
Nani?
So I also got to give an honorable mention to the Shinigami of Death Note, the Death Note anime.
I was thinking about that too. I was debating that because most of them are unseen entities. You really only get an interaction in the show with a few of them, but the ones you do, they do look a bit terrifying. And honest to God, if one popped up in my room, I would probably shit myself, throw my feces at it, and shit again. But
I'm definitely.
From a powers perspective, they can kill anybody at any moment without a second thought, just because they want to.
And the only reason why they don't is because they're tired of doing it and they're bored, and they see no meaning. They only do it like once in a while in the anime, which I thought that was actually a cool perspective. I like how the creators, excuse me, burping over here. I like how the creators actually did that. How they made the Shinigami world. How they were just like all just playing gambling and
it shows like I said, it shows the other side and the other perspective, and I think that it makes it even more terrifying because they have the power to kill anybody at any time, but they do it sparingly because they're just so bored. And when you have somebody that's so powerful, and boredom ultimately is, history shown, that leads to a lot of destruction and a very possible destructive pass. So in that regard, I think that it's more terrifying having them not be kill hungry.
I like how you said
they could figure out anything else that they want to do. They could do genocide at any moment just for the fun of it.
Definitely. I like how you just said, the feeling of boredom could lead to, disastrous effects, because that's what happened with Light Yagami. He was bored. So he was going to do the same thing Ryuk was. So they so I'm glad you mentioned that. That was a good note right there.
Oh yeah, except Yagami bit off a bit more than he could chew. Even if Ryuk continuously warned him from the beginning, this ain't gonna end how you want it to.
Oh yeah, well that was symbolic of how humans are with power. So that's a little lesson right there. Now I do have one final one I got to give, but before I do you have any honorable mentions or anything you want to add?
Honorable mention. Ooh. Is it just straight up anime, or could it be games as well?
Actually, I did mention games too. All right, yeah, give us a game. Give us a video game then.
Ooh. Well, I mean, this is just an iconic one as honorable mention, but Pyramid Head for sure. Because, out of all the things you see in Silent Hill, and I'm pretty sure by this point you'd be like, all right, well, fuck you, nurse with a freaking pair of scissors. I'm going to lock you behind a door. Pyramid Head, nah. You see that, you turn the other direction. Doesn't matter that your objective is there. You go around.
Someone cosplayed as him at a convention I was at last month.
Hell no.
They did. That was pretty good cosplay they did too. And I never played Silent Hill, but I'm familiar with those characters because when it comes to the video games and the horror, I don't usually play video games that scare the shit out of me.
Really?
Because I don't. The only game I play I might be considered scary that I have played. I'm a big fan of the Resident Evil series.
I think that once you get past the third game, it's not really horror anymore. The newest one is more horror than the past few entries has been. But I will say this. Revelations 2 is one of the hands-down best Resident Evil games that you can play. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It's very fun. It has the perfect combination of shooting and horror in it. And it's very fun co-op.
That's right. It is co-op. You're right. Yep. I gotta say, my personal Resident Evil favorite was would have to be 4. 4 was pretty creepy, I thought.
Yeah, I'll give that. I think 4 was pretty creepy. It hasn't aged particularly. It hasn't aged badly, but it hasn't aged as well as I would have liked it to.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my biggest issue with it when I was first playing it was just the way you were aiming to shoot. Kind of sucked being stationary, but I think it also gave it more of a sense of urgency to not miss your shots, considering that you can't fucking move.
Yeah, Because it was like that in the previous games too, I believe.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't run and shoot, but they, now they stopped. They started,
Now they've
But
updated it more towards how games are today. Which, it's a necessary adjustment. It doesn't take too far from the creep factor, especially with the newest one where it's first person, so you're really in there.
True. And a little fun fact about me, people, and I'm man enough to admit this, okay? Did I play Resident Evil 7? Yes. Did I beat Resident Evil 7? No. So you're probably asking, well, Genbu, how come you bought it and, you're a Resident Evil fan, you bought it and you played it, but you didn't beat it? Well, that's because I only played 10 minutes of it. Then I turned that shit back to GameStop because that scared the shit out of me.
Pussy, 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 pussy.
All right, I'm not gonna lie. I traded that thing back in. The GameStop people were like, "You were just here," and I said, "Yep," and now I'm back. I want this game returned and give me my store credit.
Scared you that bad?
Listen, I was not happy and playing that game. I tried to stick it out. I tried to. All right. Then they had me at that dinner table, with the family, and they started acting all crazy. And then the dad was the father was hunting me around the house, and he got me a couple times, and I was like, this ain't good for my health. So I went back and they were like, oh, you didn't like the game? And I was like, I lied. I was like, oh, well, it was kind of corny. It was, people trying to play it off. It was corny. I've been through this before. It was not really that good. I'm speaking the truth right now. I said that, but I didn't mean it. I was a little traumatized, but that's all right though.
If you're a healthy young man, you saying this ain't good for my health, there's an issue.
Right. It's right. I feel, I actually feel kind of, I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder by admitting that on the podcast. I can admit that because I'm healthy. I'm 6'1". I'm 185 pounds. I'm pretty well in shape. If I don't say so myself, and I work in law enforcement, but I wasn't messing around with that game. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm good for the birds. Here, take this back. But yeah, so everyone now my Resident Evil 7 secret. I'm not ashamed to admit it. If you got a problem with it, then you know what? Then comment on me. Comment. We got a comment box below on every listening platform. Or if you agree with me, then let me know what you think too. Please, someone agree with me. Let me feel good about myself.
I'll admit, the game got me a few times. I jumped and yelled a little bit a few times, playing in the dark with a headset on. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And then these creators, Capcom had the nerve to make a VR version of it. I was like, what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And one of my friends was like, yo, you want to try this VR? And I was like,
no.
Yeah. I'm gonna slap the hell out of him. I was like, "What the? Like, don't you, yo?
You want to get slapped? No. All right, then back up."
I would have been the first person to have a seizure playing that VR Resident Evil 7. I would have been an embarrassment.
Healthy young man dies of a heart attack.
And they would be like, "Sir, how old are you? 26. What?
Boy, come get your ass out of my ambulance."
Right. Yeah, my issues would have been psychological. They would have been like, you don't need an ambulance, you need a therapist.
Go to the psych ward.
Say. Yeah, right. I would have needed it. So now before we end our episode, I definitely got to give my final shout out of horror anime to Parasite. I gotta give it to Parasite.
Okay.
Parasite was definitely, it's almost, if you like Tokyo Ghoul, you're gonna love Parasite. It's about 24 episodes, I believe.
Oh, that's pretty short.
Yeah, 24 episodes, and it's pretty much about. So pretty much it's about these wormy aliens called parasites. They crawl into the ears of people and they assimilate themselves with the person, right? So.
You know what? Yeah. I've seen bits and pieces of this before.
Yeah, they pull an invasion. They pull an invasion of the body snatchers kind of thing, and they completely erase your identity once they get into your ear and your brain.
Oof.
And what makes it worse is that, those who possess, a human, those, the parasites that possess a human, they have a hunger for other human beings. And what it's creepy because, one, if I was possessed by a parasite, and I wanted to eat somebody, my face would split into 4 different directions and swallow that person's head up. Like, it's really, really creepy. Like, if you haven't seen it, you really gotta check it out. Yeah.
Well, that's a way you get out of doing paperwork at the end of shift.
Yeah, I'm telling you. The first episode shows someone getting eaten, and I'm not gonna lie either. I saw the first episode, and me and the previous host we had, King of Hearts King. We were talking about it. King initially he loved Parasite from the get go. All right, and initially I loved Tokyo Ghoul from the get go.
Okay.
But what was funny was that King did not like Tokyo Ghoul from the get go because of he thought it was weird and it was too much. It was too like it was kind of like he put himself in Kaneki's shoes really very much. He was like, this anime is kind of it might not be for me. And that was my thoughts towards Parasite when I first saw Parasite. Because when I saw the first episode, the first 5 minutes, and I was like, all right, I'm not watching this. And it took me a minute to actually watch it. And the more I watched it, I was like, you know what? This kind of has like a Tokyo Ghoul feel to it, but they're completely different.
Yeah.
And I won't say exactly why because I want you guys to watch it if you haven't seen it yet. But it's a very good show, and it has that horror aspect to it, and you're going to like it. It's thrilling. It has the horror aspect. It has action in it too. The action's really good. In fact, there's a scene, those who've seen the anime are going to know what I'm talking about, with a gym teacher. That's all I'm going to say. All right, this gym teacher goes in.
This show is not for the faint of heart.
No, it's not. Yeah, it definitely isn't. A lot of blood, a lot of gore, but that's what dreams are made of, right? So.
Oh yeah. Coming from a sane person, that's what dreams are made of.
Right.
You heard it here, folks.
So that being said, we're pretty much at the end of the show, and I hope you guys enjoyed our bonus segment and the introduction of our host Major.
It's very fun to be here. I really enjoy it. And I really hope to see all of you people back here next episode.
Yes, definitely coming back. We're going to be doing our Red Dead Redemption next time. All right?
Oh man.
Yep. So we're going to definitely get ready for that. I'm in the middle. I'm going to be playing it once I get done this recording, so I'll be hopping on that.
Oh, I got mine on pause.
Nice. I'm going to go grab a snack real quick and hop on it. But yeah, so everybody, don't forget, catch us at www.geekbluespodcast.com. We're on iTunes, Spotify, all forms of listening. You can catch us on all forms of social media, from your Facebook to your Instagram. All right, we're on everything. You can't get away from us. We're there. We're behind you. We're beside you. We're in front of you.
Just call us the Jason Voorhees of it all.
Yep, all directions. Above you, beneath you. Well, not beneath. That sounds kind of provocative. But
under your bed. You're under your bed.
Yeah, there we go. Yep, you're there. All right. So, Major, any last words? Well, not last words. That's
all right. Well, I guess I'm dying tonight. Happy Halloween, y'all.
Any final comments or anything you want to add before we close out?
Just have yourselves a safe Halloween, and I hope you guys enjoy. We would love to have you guys here. We would love to see you again next time. So stay tuned.
All right, there you go. You guys have it. Stay tuned and have a good night.